Welcome back to TechKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Harmony One, whose current price stands at the $0.02265 mark, and here on TradingView the market is up by 2.54%. And in this video I want to give the key scenarios that I expect to play out, basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, and also the key areas of support and resistances, and also show you the key patterns that you have information on this chart. So if you're interested in such content, make sure that you stick around till the end of the video. I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. Harmony One, from the all-time high, has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC correction, which has now taken us to around the $0.016 mark. And having done that, I believe Harmony One has done the minimum that we expected that ABC correction to the lower side to do, and soon we might see this pump to the upper side, having a wave 5 taking us back to an all-time high. But before that plays out, we first need to see a fast wave to the upper side, which I have a target area here on the charts within this blue target area that is at around the $0.24 mark and the $0.19 mark, and that I'm basing it on the Fibonacci's. So if I apply the fibs here, connecting the low down there to the all-time high, you can see that my blue target area lies between the fib level 0.618 and the fib level 0.5, which is the minimum that I expect that first wave to the upper side to do. And within a first wave to the upper side, I also need to see fractal waves, and also key movements down here need to first play out. So that is what I want to focus on. I don't want to focus on the first wave to the upper side, but the key movements that we have down here on the 4-hour chart. So if I jump to the 4-hour chart, after making the low at around the $0.016 mark, Harmony One started seeing a very nice pump to the upper side, and we were trading within this channel that we have over here. And as we were trading within that channel, we were making a series of highs, and that meant that the buyers were trying to push the market higher. But at some point the sellers took over, and once they took over, we broke to the lower side of this channel, and we also lost a key area of support at around the $0.029 mark. And after that happened, we went to around the $0.018 mark, which is a key area of support. That area gave us support, and we started seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side. We even managed to break above this key area of resistance once more, and as we are trying to have a retest of this key area of resistance, Harmony One could not hold above that key area of resistance, and we lost that key area of support once more to the lower side. And down here within this yellow target, I have another key area of support, which is giving us support at the moment, and we are seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side. And that brings me to the first movement that I expect to play out on this chart. And the first movement that I expect to see on this chart is that Harmony One can continue pushing to the upper side and manage to break above this key area of resistance. And once that happens, we have a successful retest. And once the retest is a success, then that would unlock even higher prices and could take us to around the $0.03 mark, where we have our next key area of resistance. And at that area, maybe if we manage to break above it, we can also have a retest and then continue pushing higher, and that would mean higher prices could be coming our way. And for that to happen, we also need to see an increase in volume here on the Harmony One volume indicator chart. The other movement that I expect to see on this chart is a movement to the lower side. If we do not manage to break above this key area of resistance and maybe even lose this key area of support down here and continue unlocking lower prices, that will be completing the formation of a chart pattern here on this chart, which is a head and shoulders pattern. And if I draw it out on the charts, starting from this point right here, we have this as the left shoulder of that head and shoulders pattern. Then we have the head up here. Then we dropped further, forming the neckline. And this movement that we are in at the moment, this might be what is forming the right shoulder of this pattern. And if we continue seeing lower prices and maybe go to around the $0.018 mark, which is a key area of support, that will be completing this head and shoulders pattern, which is a pattern that normally breaks to the lower side, having the target area of the breakout as the height between the head and the neckline. So if I use a trend line to get the height to the neckline, then take this height and place it at this area where it's possible that we might see that breakout. That gives us the target area for that breakout of that chart pattern to around the $0.01 mark, and that would be the worst case scenario for Harmony 1. But in between here we have key areas of support which could give us support if this pattern plays out, and in case we go to around the $0.013 mark, then it's possible that we might find support at that key area of support and then have a nice bounce to the upper side, maybe break above this key area of resistance once more, have a retest, and then continue pushing higher. And that would mean if we go to that area, that would be extending our ABC correction, having a new low for the ABC correction. And if we manage to continue holding above this key area of support at around the $0.02 mark, that would mean it's possible that we continue pushing higher, break above this key area of resistance, and even push higher, and that would be invalidating my head and shoulders pattern. That is when we manage to make a high above the high of the head right here, that is make a new high above the $0.027 mark. So if we continue pushing higher and make a new high here, that will be invalidating this head and shoulders pattern. And if we also jump to the daily chart, where we also have another pattern, here on the daily chart we have this descending channel which has more than 3 touch points, and the price of Harmony 1 has continued to respect. It also gives me key movements that might play out on this chart. If we continue pushing to the upper side of this channel and manage to break above it and maybe push to around the $0.023 mark where we have our next key area of resistance, break above it and have a retest, that would mean higher prices would be coming our way, and that would be invalidating my head and shoulders pattern that I have on the 4-hour chart. So I hope this movement plays out, but we also need to be prepared for both scenarios, because we have room here on this channel. That would mean it's possible that we hit the top of the channel and then start seeing lower prices, that is continue trading within the channel to the lower side, and maybe even break to the lower side of the channel on the worst case scenario, and that movement will be supporting my head and shoulders pattern that I have on the 4-hour chart. So let's be patient and see how that plays out. And if I also go back to the 4-hour chart to take a look at the indicators that I have on the chart, here on the RSI you can see we are trading at around the 49 mark, and that would mean we have massive room to continue pushing higher if that key area of support continues to give us support and we manage to break above that key area of resistance. It's also possible that if we break to the lower side, that movement here on the RSI will still be supported. So let's be patient and see how that plays out. If we also take a look at the MACD, here on the MACD we have printed a bullish cross, and that would mean higher prices could be coming our way, and we might invalidate our head and shoulders pattern and also respect the channel that I have on the daily chart. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.